Live.
I'm talking about straining for that logo on the side of your helmet and not the name on your back.
Yes, sir.
Because we know what it represents. It represents everybody here you see and everybody you can't that we've talked about. I'm here to strain with you, man. I swear to God, I'm here to strain with you. Let's go. Everything you got, strain with everything you got. Let's go. Bills on three. 1, 2, 3. Bills.
You're listening to the Off Tackle with John Fina Show with your host, Joe Miller. Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome everybody into the Off Tackle with John Fina Show, brought to you by the Market Dominator on the Buffalo Rumblings vidcast network. And I'm supposed to do a read, and I don't have the read up. Presented by the Buffalo Rumblings vidcast network, presented by Picasso's Pizza. Picasso's Pizza, we are Buffalo Pizza. If you want to order pizza, we will ship. They will ship anywhere around the country. You can also get it here, but do your best to get out and find a piece of pizza, specifically Picasso's Pizza today. And if you are out of the market, you can by all means go to their website, which I'll get for you in a second, and you can order one and they will ship it to you. How was that for just totally off the cuff? Because I literally forgot to grab the read for Picasso Pizza. So hopefully they don't get too mad at me. But we love you, Picasso's Pizza. My name is Joe Miller, host of the show. That guy over there, the big, the bad, the beautiful John Fina. John, how are you tonight?
Oh my God, it's been a day, man. I just, remember when you were a kid and the days seem so long, and then you get to be, like your parents would always say, oh, there's not enough hours in the day.
Yes.
And you thought they were crazy. And now I'm faking like I'm an adult and there's not enough hours in the day.
There are definitely not enough hours in the day. Before we get to anything, let's do this. Let's hear from our sponsor, our first primary sponsor, John Spascheck. So everybody, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know him already, the inevitable John Spascheck.
Strategy, block, vision, get your vision up, balance, foot back, head up. Yeah, these are some of the strategies my good friend John Fina used to dominate on the field when he was playing for our great Buffalo football team. And these are some of the things that I use in real estate to dominate as the market dominator, and also the proud sponsor of the John Fina Show, hosted by Joe Miller. So if you want to win in the real estate market, it's going to be important to bring good vision so you can see what's out there, good balance of the market. Folks, strategy is critical, and this is what we do. We educate, we advocate, we negotiate, and we dominate. So if you want to win the way our football team is, you call me directly, 716-570-3298. Let's go, Buffalo!
Love that guy.
I love it. And I love the clip. I'm looking at the footwork. I mean, that's how I love to watch football. But the market dominator, John Spascheck. John Spascheck, he's awesome.
If he is. And if you are in the market to buy or sell a home, and not only in the Buffalo area, but anywhere around Western New York or the country, he says, please give John a call at 716-570-3298. He will answer his phone. Make sure you tell him that John Fina sent you. How about that?
That's awesome. I'm sending you. Go see the market dominator, John Spascheck. I'm telling you.
The market dominator.
He's great. I love the houses he posts on Twitter. It gives me such a nice, warm feeling. I see all those beautiful shots.
Yeah,
it's great.
So I'm gonna have to do something about the read, like all of the ads and reads. I've got one sheet of paper, this one, and it's got a million like notes and scribbles on it, and you can see the back of it's crazy. And this is from 2021. I haven't done an updated 2022 version, which is why I missed the top of the read. So I'm gonna have to do something about getting a little more organized. So as much as you see this corner of my desk, and it's perfect, you should see.
It's beautiful.
You should see this part of the desk. It's not great. It looks like my 12-year-old daughter's room on this part of the desk. It's awful.
I'm sure it's fine.
Welcome everybody into the show. We appreciate all of you joining us. Everybody's jumping into the comment section. JR's in the room. Daniel Gowrish is in the room. Richard Rush, Pam Madonna's in the room. She thought it was Wednesday, by the way. So you want to talk about having a day? She thought today was Wednesday.
Wow.
Mark Johnson, Paul Mercer's in the room. Randy Prokes is in the room. A whole bunch of people are up in this space, and it's so good. Jessica Tennis here. So good to have all of you guys with us. We're going to talk some Buffalo Bills football. We're going to talk some news at the top. We're going to talk some stadium information kind of came out today. But let's start here. You're coming into town this week.
I know. I feel like Pam Madonna. She wants it to be Wednesday. I feel like I'm so close. The anticipation of going back to Buffalo. I'm excited, man. And, I was looking at the calendar, and, I always think I'm going to be able to go to Buffalo and relax and maybe go sit out by the Albright Knox and enjoy the weather or something. And it's just go. Just packed, busy. It's going to be great.
While you're here, yeah. So the first thing that's going to happen, you get in Friday, yes? Friday your flight comes in?
That's right. Friday afternoon. That's right.
What time should we be at the airport with wings?
Well, hopefully touchdown around the 5 o'clock hour, 1700. And rent my car, and then it's boom, boogie woogie down to O'Neill's at the stadium. I might not even have time to check in.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we're headed to O'Neill's to record a live podcast with the Rock Pile Report. I've got it at 6 o'clock. I think that was the agreed upon arrival time was 6 o'clock, which would give you enough time to basically jump off the airplane, get in an Uber, and get down to Orchard Park across from the stadium.
That's going to be close, bro.
Well, whatever. If everybody starts showing up at 6, that's fine. But everybody's invited. So if you are listening to the show, whether live now on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, or you are catching in some sort of podcast version on whatever platform, feel free to meet us down at O'Neill's. I know a couple people that are already coming. One, in fact, is a good friend of mine that he's got a little bit of a man crush on you. So
and you know what? If your bar is so low that you want my autograph on something, then show up. I got no qualms about that. It's all about the good times, the wings, a couple of ice cold beers, and just enjoying the Western New York best vodcast, podcasts, whatever cast that we can drum up.
That's right. And Saturday, what do you got going on Saturday?
Saturday, oh man, I got to get up early. I'm going to drive to Rochester. I got tons of family in Rochester, as everybody knows. My cousin Joey always hosts the whole family at his house, but he said, I'm playing in a golf tournament. Why don't you? He got me the last spot in a golf tournament at Mill Creek Country Club.
Oh, nice.
What is it? Is that a country club?
I hear country club and I go, oh, nice, because I don't get the
well, it must be. I don't know. But it's to benefit Gigi's Playhouse. That's gigisplayhouse.org, and it's for families and children with Down syndrome, enabling and education and resources. I combed through the website. It's pretty cool. So it's a great cause, and I think it's going to be brutal fun, but I think there's going to be 36 teams. Like we're going 2 per hole. Wow. Yeah. So hopefully a scramble. I don't even know who I'm playing with. I'm like the last entry, and they're like, fine, we'll put you with somebody. So I do that. Okay. Then it's cousin Joe's that night in Rochester. See the whole family. Stay over at Joe's. Then I'm driving to Buffalo to hang out with some friends from like 10 to 3. And then it's off to Jim Kelly's gala for the golf tournament on Monday. So Seneca Niagara Casino, probably tons of legends will be there. A lot of them gambling, probably not me. And then golf on Monday.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you were going to be here till like through Monday, Tuesday. I thought you were out of here on Sunday at some point. Nice.
No, man, I don't leave till Tuesday.
Nice. Very good. That's awesome. And then Sunday we got some stuff going on, and then you get to go to the gala on Sunday night. You said is the gala?
Yeah. I'm still waiting to hear back on whether or not I get a +1.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I would love to go, but I have a show to do, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I can do it from the gala. What time?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody else would want to go with me.
I might have to find a sub. Sub.
What is it? Baseball?
Right. I
need the righty.
Somebody or the lefty, whatever. Bring anybody in. I don't care. I might just show one of my old shows if I get the opportunity to go to that. That'd be a freaking blast.
I'm working on it.
And where's the golf? Where's Kelly's tournament at?
Yes.
You don't know?
Yes.
Not sure. It normally was at Wanaka down the street from my house. Is it? I don't think it's there anymore. Correct?
Hey, where's the turkey pot pie? Damn.
No.
It is not. It's up near Seneca, Niagara, somewhere.
Up in Niagara Falls. Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So,
well, that's good. That's all good stuff. So we do have some news. Before we get to the news, we got to really get into the content or the context of the show. One real quick, whatever platform you are viewing this on, please like and subscribe. Also, we are Super Chat Live, which means if you've got a question or a comment for either myself or John, most likely John, please feel free to jump in and ask us. Super Chat just makes it glow on the screen. It's easier for us to see. It'll get our attention, but we are by in no means ignoring you. So with that, so are you up to date on the Bills news? Did you hear that Reggie Gilliam got re-signed to a 2-year contract?
Fullbacks matter, baby.
Fullbacks matter. That's right. So what is the difference? And I think I asked you this earlier today in a text and you ignored me. So I'm hoping you've got an answer. What is the difference between the way that fullbacks were utilized, Carwell Gardner, guys like that back in the day versus, I mean, not most teams. There's a lot of teams that don't even roster a fullback.
First of all, let's just go back to you ignored me like we're married, okay? I'll tell you, it's interesting you asked that question, right? Because, everybody talks about special teams being such an integral part of the game and the result, and we learned that last year in some circumstances, unfortunately, right? But you need different size bodies for special teams. And the way most defenses are run now, you only got 2 linebackers, right? You're committing more people to 4-man rush front and 5 guys in the secondary, right? It's mostly a 4-2-5.
Right.
So if you can keep a fullback and it makes sense to the integration of your offense, and obviously Reggie Gilliam could play, that H position off the ball a little bit.
Halfback.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, just kind of off the ball rather than on the line of scrimmage like a typical Y.
Right.
It means a lot. It means a lot to have that extra big body in place, and I think it's great. And you also want kind of like that enforcer attitude on the offense outside of just offensive linemen all the time.
Yeah, very good. Also, it is not rumored any longer. It was pretty much open news out there for the world to see that Von Miller is openly courting OBJ. To which Von Miller, and I had the pictures. I was working on the pictures and we ran out of time trying to get them uploaded to this show. Basically showed a picture of a photoshopped picture of OBJ in a Bills uniform and said, hey, come on over.
I didn't see that.
Shuffle on over to Buffalo. And OBJ responded, what's the locker next to yours look like? So where are we at? I think the big question I saw on Twitter today, and I'll let you respond and I'll see if I can get this picture up real quick. Where are you at on OBJ coming to Buffalo?
Well, I don't know that there's a need. I mean, look at our current wide receiver core. Do you see like a glaring need?
I do.
So
not
unless something changes from this year to next year, it's as I like to say when people are talking about things that don't matter, it's a non-versation.
A non-versation. I like that. I like the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I invented that word. Trademark. So sure, you know what? He should come out for a game and get some wings and meet some of the guys because he's not going to be doing anything else for like the next 6.5 months or
it's going to be a minute.
4 months at least, right?
Based on I mean, it depends, right? But based on his injury, it's going to be a minute before he's capable of
right.
That,
so yeah, maybe come out, say hello, but I don't think that it's fun to talk about, I guess, for some people, but I mean, you got Diggs, McKenzie, Gabe Davis, is there a need?
So there it is. There's OBJ.
Oh, I did see that.
In a Buffalo Bills uniform. And it says, OBJ, let's chase this ring. Again, now it's important to note, if I didn't already say it, I think I may have, that OBJ is not a free agent. So this isn't a situation where I think he can necessarily leave
right
on his own recognizance. But it's an interesting conversation. I think for me, I'm out as well. I put it at the top of the show. I just don't know where he fits. I mean, are you going to? You've got what
doesn't fit anywhere because he can't play this year, right? So if there's a need next year, then we see if there's a puzzle piece.
Well, ACLs, and I think you're the one that told me this about specifically Trey. Every person is different. Every player is different. Every human skeletal system, every makeup is different. There's a good chance that he could come back. The question is when, and I think the target date is like mid-November to early December. So if you get him back mid-November, early December, and you get to play him, for me, who are you removing at that point? You're not taking Stephon Diggs out, and clearly he's not better than Stephon Diggs, I don't think, at this point. Are you removing Gabe Davis from the lineup? Are you going to put him in the slot? Are you taking Isaiah McKenzie out of the lineup for him? Are you going to like bench it, let him ride the pine, OBJ, and have him be the fourth guy out? I don't know where he fits. And for me, I don't know the team. I think you said it. I don't know that the team needs him.
No. It's always fun to think about. What if we had this guy or that guy, right? And there's some sort of thoughtful availability of OBJ right now or not? I don't know.
Right.
I guess what I would say is, outside of injury,
right?
That's, knocked on wood. Did you hear it?
I heard it. I absolutely heard it. It would have been louder and echoed if you'd hit your head, but I definitely heard it when you knocked.
I might have knocked myself out. My squash is a little tender these days.
That's hysterical. I will take I'm not necessarily sure I agree with a couple different references I saw on Twitter today. One of them being that he's a future Hall of Famer. I don't think that OBJ is a future Hall of Famer. I guess you could potentially argue it. For me, I'm not in that camp. I'm not in the OBJ as a Hall of Famer, but we can move on from that. I think we're probably in the same boat.
We beat that one to death.
So I was at the what?
Next item. We're going to go to the next item, but I wanted to add something before that. Today is August the 8th. It is. And on this day in 1995, my phone rang and my brother David said, "Congratulations. Your niece was born. Happy birthday, Aiden Isabella Fina. You're a beautiful, beautiful soul." And she's not listening. This is for me. She's my goddaughter, and she's a great kid.
Yep, that's awesome. So happy birthday. That's fantastic. I that's really special. I don't think I've done a single niece or nephew, and I have a trove of them.
It's got to fall on the right day. My God, man. Like if this were yesterday or tomorrow.
I'm sure that it has fallen on the right day. I just never think about it, but
you're just insensitive.
Okay. I am. So I was at the return of the red versus blue scrimmage on Friday, and I was there when Josh Allen ran out. So you were not, but what were your immediate feelings when you saw that picture come across Twitter, when you saw Josh Allen run out of the tunnel in the helmet that you wore?
Yeah, I really don't have an attachment to the helmet per se, but I'm like, I don't know. I love this kind of color rush combination. I love white on white. I love blue on blue. I love red on red. Right. And when college teams started doing it several years ago, and then they brought out the gray variations, I was all about it. I mean, as much as I hate my daughter's alma mater, ASU had just the sickest uniform conversation or combinations, and I was in for all of them, just to look and hate. Whereas for Buffalo, it's look and love. I think if you put your finger over the visor and it's not special, but man, that reflective visor just looks sweet.
Yeah, visor Josh Allen.
What about you, man? What say you?
So I talked about it a little bit last night on the show, on the Overreaction show. And for me, I'm not overly married to the Reds. I grew up with the white helmet, with the white Charging Buffalo helmet. So the early Joe Ferguson, Joe Cribbs days, that way Jerry.
Man, Butler, you're old.
Right. With the little Buffalo, with the little Charging Buffalo on it.
Yeah.
And then and then there was always this weird, what is the word I'm looking for? And I'll expound a little bit more than I did last night. There's always this weird kind of reflection back to being a little kid and going, "Dad, why did they change the color of the Bills helmets?" And my dad being like, "Because Joe Ferguson can't tell the difference between his players and the other teams." And so for me, there was always kind of this connection of like, our helmets are red because we had a quarterback that threw the football at anybody with a white helmet. If he's got a white helmet, I'm going to throw the football at him. So there's always been kind of this weird thing about the red helmets. I like the red helmets. So when the Bills came back during the Fitzy days and brought back the white helmet, I was I thought it was amazing. I still remember to this day when they leaked the Madden simulation stuff and they showed it was Stevie Johnson running a route in a white helmet, and everybody lost their mind because nobody knew. They literally made a mistake, showed it, and like gave away the secret that the Bills were moving to a white helmet. And I was excited. I was elated. So seeing the red helmet, it was cool. It was nostalgic. I knew immediately that a lot of Bills Mafia were going to lose their minds because there's a lot of Bills Mafia that are post Super Bowl years. They don't have necessarily their dad making fun of Joe Ferguson as a little when they were a little kid in their brain. The problem that I have with this one is the red helmet didn't match his jersey, and I know that it wasn't intended to. That's a traditional red helmet, whereas jersey is the new color rush, and they had two blue stripes down the middle. And the two blue stripes did not look good versus I think you guys had, was it a blue and two whites? Is that what's on your helmet? You've got a helmet behind you, don't you?
I do. At the risk of, showing everybody that I'm not wearing pants. Yeah, it's a center blue stripe with a white on each side.
Yeah, that just looks, so there was a little bit of that doesn't look great. By the way, can I just say that your backdrop looks amazing?
This was designed by Melissa and Mimi to reflect some of my footballs and some pictures and the jersey. And there's the helmet up there. You can't see it, but what are you going to do?
We saw it. That's fan. Yeah. Please pan up. Do not pan down if you truly are not wearing pants. Nobody needs to be ruined for the evening.
I put pants on for the show.
But let's move on to our next segment. We're going to be moving on to stadium news. But before we do, here's a little bit of a word from John regarding one of our sponsors.
Hey, when you're looking to buy a house, everyone's got a guy. Might need work done on your roof? Well, your buddy's probably got a guy too. You need an inspection? I know someone. And when you're looking to get your financing together, Brian Belzer from House Capital Corp is your guy. They help make the mortgage process simple, hassle-free, and understandable. At House Capital, their preferred relationships with some of the top lenders give you the edge up in getting the financing you need. Take it to the house with House Capital. House Capital, registered mortgage broker, New York State Department of Financial Services. All loans arranged to third-party providers, equal housing opportunity. House Capital, 500 per no less than 115496444.
Awesome.
House Capital.
Well done.
Brian Belzer.
Yes, if you're in the market for a mortgage broker, if you're looking to refinance, which I don't know why you'd refinance necessarily right now, but if you're looking to buy a house,
no, I wouldn't.
Give Brian a call, 716-815-2102. So some information broke sort of on the stadium. What do you have as far as sentimental feelings towards Highmark, New Era Field, the Ralph, Rich Stadium? I love that place. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'll tell you this. Wow. Yeah, I think, I don't know if I told you this on the last show. As many years as I played there, I never actually walked the concourses.
Really?
And I've only ever been in the concourses as a fan. The few times I've been to Buffalo, and I thought to myself, God, this is like a rancher when they're herding the cattle in, right, to either pop the horns or slaughter them or whatever it takes. But I was like, this needs an upgrade.
Yeah,
it definitely needs an up. And the bathroom situation, I knew it was upgraded probably twice since I've played. That needs a little elevated effort too. So
yeah,
I think it's all about the fan experience, man. You may love that stadium, but we got the team, and this fan base has shown they deserve to keep a team. They should probably be rewarded with toilets that flush, maybe fewer bathroom aromas, and maybe more concessions with shorter lines. I'm not saying we go like sushi and udon noodle bar.
Dude, I'm all about the sushi, bro.
Well, I'm not saying we do it. I'm just saying we could upgrade. You got to agree.
Yeah, no, I agree. So as much as I have a great affinity, and part of it is because I'm a seat snob, I love my seat at the stadium. And I have a fear of losing my seat. The amount of conversations that I've had with people, not only Bills fans, but other fans, just about the stadium itself. I remember getting in a fight on Twitter with one time with a person because I said, I made the statement that the stadium's in the ground, that it's like 50 or 60 feet down in the ground. And the person was like, the stadium's not in the ground. I'm like,
yes, it is.
The stadium, it's in the ground.
Well, I know because I used to walk down a tunnel from ground level.
Right. It's so there's that, but
unless it was like one of those Escher drawings where you're walking down over here, but you're walking up over here
on the other side. No, so it's one of those things where the upper decks are rotting and deteriorating. They're 50 years old. You can't expand the concourse areas in the lower bowl because they're in the ground. You actually literally would have to rip out the upper decks and then dig them out and then like build new upper decks. It's beyond the point of repair. So I understand why. I know that the NFL wants it. There's aspects of the NFL wanting Buffalo to have a new stadium when Kansas City isn't being asked to have a new stadium. Green Bay's not being asked to have a new stadium. There's old stadiums still out there. Kansas City Arrowhead was built the same year as the Bills Stadium. Now they've renovated it and done some things, and that one is clearly, above the ground totally. But the information that came out today, Ron Raccuia, who is the Bills COO, was on WGR 55 this morning with Howard Simon and Jeremy White. And the stadium, he just kind of clarified some things. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown. And feel free to stop me at any point if you have any questions, or if you have any comments. So first thing we know is that the stadium is going to be across the street across Abbott Road in the ECC, basically field area, where the parking lot is, and then that big grass field. So the state has annexed, if you will, that big swath of grass, and where I think the ECC football field is, and then that big parking lot, like that's where the new stadium is going to go. They're going to turn it a little bit, so it's not going to be facing the same direction because they're trying to take advantage of the wind, if you will. Ron Raccuia also says that they relied heavily on fan feedback. I can say this. So as much as I have not had the opportunity to go to a single town hall meeting as a season ticket holder, I remember answering survey questions a couple of years ago when they started the whole entire process, like probably 2018, 2019. And basically what he said was they're just trying to understand, what we as Bills fans value in a game day experience. And I'm going to be honest. I think some of the things he's dead on. And I think some of the things he's not dead on.
All right. Just give me the ones he's not dead on. What do you got?
So for me, he's right about this part. Buffalonians love to gather, is what Ron Raccuia said today. You go into a bar and everyone is standing. Relatively true. You go to a party and everyone is in the kitchen or the living room and every other room is empty. I don't think that's a Buffalo thing.
What other rooms are there when you're at a party at somebody's house?
I've lived
Everybody into the bathroom, go.
I don't think that people come to Buffalo to visit family. I don't think people move to Buffalo for the first time ever in their life and come here or go to a party and they're like, man, this is really weird. Everybody is together in the room together standing. I just think that that's something that's natural. At the very same time, I think the opposite is true about Buffalo Bills fans. I think Buffalo Bills fans go to football games to watch the freaking football game. I don't think Buffalo Bills fans, I think we gather and we stand together at the tailgate, but when we're in the stadium watching the football game, we're not there to gather in large congregation areas. We're there to watch the football game. So that's the primary thing that he said today that I probably don't necessarily agree with. The rest of it, I'm pretty good with. He said that the fans complained about space in the concourse area, which I can understand and get. One big focus was to expand the seating areas, the aisles specifically. Now, the aisles don't bother me much. I'm in row 1, so I have about 3 feet in front of me before like the rail. So when everybody else is standing up, I'm sitting down. Like there's nobody in my way at all. So I really can't complain about that. The seats will also be fanned in the new stadium. So they've got concepts. So the concepts are finished. Conceptually, the design is done, but the details are not. And what they're talking about is that it's going to be 62 to 65,000 seats, 360-degree enclosed with a canopy, a large canopy over it. And what they're trying to do is keep the wind out. They're trying to keep the wind at bay. They're trying to keep the fans, we'll use the word as they did, conditioned, right? So in the summertime, obviously everybody be in the shade. There might not be any wind in the stadium, but everybody with the shade. In the wintertime, I think there'll be heaters around the stadium and up in that canopy to kind of heat a little bit the stadium, but there will also be areas for the fans to go if they've been in the sun all day or if they've been in the cold all day to go to a conditioned space, if you will, to kind of take care of the fans. But the seats are going to be in the upper deck specifically are going to be fanned and stacked, which our seats are a little bit fanned now. They're not like old stadiums where you're sitting straight and like the guy's hitting the baseball, like a baseball stadium. You know what I'm talking about? Like where you're sitting this way and the baseball like home plate's over there, so everybody's like turn this direction, waiting for him to hit the ball. Like everybody's going to be fanned. We're kind of fanned now. My guess is they're going to do even more about fanning the stadium, but the expectation is that everybody's going to be closer to the field, right, in the new stadium than they are currently. So I think the example he gave was the Seahawks stadium, that everybody's really close to the stadium.
And it's loud.
And it's going to be loud. Which it's already loud, but it's going to be even louder.
So, I mean, it doesn't sound like you have any disagreements with the interior space. I like the idea of having some sort of canopy, and I guess in colder games, we get enough people in there, it'll naturally feel a little bit warmer. I like the idea that you still get the cold, but you don't get all the wind, which I don't like. I kind of enjoy that concept. And as far as the seating goes, the number I'm not going to deal with. I don't know, 62, 65,000. I can't even like conceive of what's right or what's wrong there. But I think the thing you were saying is you don't care about the concourse area. Like, Buffalo fans are there to watch the game. Well, half of the fans, I shouldn't say that. There's a percentage of the fans that need to go somewhere and throw up around the second quarter.
So when they talk about,
we got to make sure we can get them there without a crowd, buddy.
I think there has to be some clarification around what we're talking about when it comes to gathering areas. So it could very well be defined differently. So it could be large concourses so people can be down in those spaces comfortably. From my experience, when you see Lucas Oil Field, from my experience, when you see the new AT&T Stadium, the new Texas Stadium, the Cincinnati Bengals, the new stadium in Cincinnati, they've got giant areas where literally during the football game, people have paid $100 for a ticket. They buy a $25 beer and they stand there and watch the football game on a television.
Well, that's their choice. I mean, there's no accounting for brains. So, I mean, I see that as like 0.001% of the Bills fandom that wants to stand out by the toilets and watch the game on a TV. I mean, is your excitement about this because you think it's going to cost that much more money to create the space to do it, and you're trying to drive the budget down? I mean, even if it's abandoned, who cares if you have this large, beautiful space to gather?
Fair.
It might have something to do with whatever concerts you're going to put on there. I mean,
I love
there's the 4-H shows that are going to roll through there. I mean, monster truck rally, Big Daddy Dongerland, Don the Dragon Lee. Funny car.
Sunday. If you're going to press me on that, which I think it's a good place to press me, I think it's because I've watched stadiums get built around this country, and basically remove the football fan. So stadiums get built, and these and it becomes more of a social gathering than it does a football game. And here in this city, it's Columbus, Ohio. It's the Buckeyes. Saturday afternoons in Columbus, Ohio are absolutely 1,000% like ridiculously nuts because everybody there was focused on one thing: Buckeye football. Everybody, all 100,000 people at the Horseshoe are focused on one thing: Buckeye football. If they ever tore that stadium down and built a palace for the rich, which there are a lot of rich people, billionaires in Columbus, Ohio. People don't know that about Columbus. That's why it's blowing up the rate that it's blowing.
Yeah.
If they did that, it would.
The question is why they stay there. Nobody can figure out.
Because it's a beautiful city. It would completely remove the game day experience from Columbus because they're removing the culture that is Columbus, like Ohio State Buckeye football. And I know it sounds like I'm a Buckeye fan. I'm not actually. My wife graduated from OSU. My kids were born at the hospital there, but I'm not necessarily a Buckeye fan, but I lived there for 13 years. So I'm very tied into how the culture relates to our city because they talk about it all the time. Like Buffalo's got a very college culture, as a professional franchise. That's my fear. My fear is that, well, we're going to create spaces for the football fan, but we're going to give the good seats and all the seats to the casual fan that's there more for corporate reasons and they're more for the status of it. Like, I have season tickets, right? I don't cheer though because I don't do that. I'm a little bit nervous. So just call me nervous a little bit, right?
Are we done with this segment? I don't even know how to talk you off the cliff here, buddy. I'm concerned about your mental well-being, though. You know, like they're going to try to satisfy everybody. And in the end, it's going to be up to the season ticket holders to decide how they want to enjoy the game.
Yeah.
And you can revile, despise, and wish ill on anyone who wants to stand out in the breezeway and watch the game on the TV. And that's your option. But I think that you're still going to get the same, by and large, the same Buffalonians in that stadium behaving like they have for the past, 60 years, 65 years, 70 years? Oh,
We'll see.
65.
We'll see. I just and people are taking it to me in the comment section, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it. I just it's
you know you do. You're going to get into a Twitter fight again. It's very.
I'm more concerned about the crazy Bills fan that is Bills culture being removed from the opportunity to go to a game in lieu of the dude that can afford to go to the football
so
game.
That's a different conversation. So you didn't add that part. I mean, you're talking about stadium design, but now you're talking about how they allocate the tickets and the pricing and all that kind of stuff.
The design comes into play, but the design is a part of that. What they're doing inside the stadium, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically when the Sabres built the new arena downtown, they put a restaurant inside of it. So and Texas Stadium has like the Lions Stadium, Ford Field has restaurants in it. It's like, why would I pay $125 to go for a football ticket and then like go sit in a restaurant? Like who does that?
I think you got to hold tight a little bit until we see the first renderings, the first drawings, if they're even shared. I mean, they're really not obligated to share them with us.
Jessica, by the way, flying pizza. Still there.
Jessica Tennis. Wait, she what? They sell pizza on a tennis court?
No. Her name is Tennis, but she misses the flying pizza, which is the type.
Oh, on High Street,
Columbus. Yeah.
Is it good?
It's good. Yeah. It's. Is
it as good as Buffalo pizza?
Let's not start an unnecessary conversation. Anyways, let me finish this up so we can move on. So the renderings are actually going to be coming out. They're expected in the next couple of weeks. As I said,
cool.
Conceptually speaking, the design of the stadium per Rakuya is done. The details are not. So the renderings to me is probably just, it's a formality. Like they're just probably trying to figure out a way to best market that release of that information, which I'm sure will get leaked.
Sure.
But the biggest hurdle they have right now, the next deadline they have is September 1st, and that's for all of Rakuya said. The long form agreements and contracts with the state and the county, which, let's be honest, that is a whole another conversation in and all of itself. But with that, let's anything else to kind of cherry on top of that stadium conversation, or are you good?
No, buddy, I'm good.
All right, so let's move on to we're going to move on to who you and I feel are the players that are going to take the biggest leap this year. And then we're going to break down what we think is the hardest part of our schedule, the first 4 games of the season. Yes. But before that, you're going to talk about Q42.
I used the coffee rub last night. I did a tri-tip actually 2 days ago. You wanted me to
put up a picture and I didn't get to it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was, I hadn't used it yet. Right. I have it. And then I finally I got to do it. So you hear us talk every week about how awesome Q42 sauces and rubs are on your barbecue meats, like I just said, and on your burgers and your wings and your ribs. What if we told you those same sauces and rubs are also awesome on sides, apps, and veggies? The KC rub's great on breakfast potatoes, peppers, corn, even on cheesecake. What?
Wait, time out. I know you're doing a read. Barbecue KC rub on cheesecake?
But breakfast potatoes, peppers, corn, even on a cheesecake.
That wasn't supposed to say cheese steak.
Burrow, it says cheesecake, man. I can hold on. That's cheesecake, bro. I read it right.
Wait, hold it up. Let me look too.
Bro,
it definitely says
cheesecake. I can't believe you didn't tell me. Like I can't read. Try shaking that Texas brisket rub over a portobello mushroom. Now that sounds awesome. Use a Carolina sauce on a veggie dip platter or pair it with hot, soft pretzel. Winner! finally the KC sauce, dip it in some fries or just about anything else. What we're saying is it doesn't always have to be meat, veggies, apps, and sides. They all deserve some love too, baby. Even that cheesecake.
That's awesome.
I can't believe it.
So what we're going to talk about is the players, and basically we were both tasked with picking 2 players that we feel they're going to take the biggest leap this year in 2022. I'm going to let you go first with your first one. So who do you have first?
So I think he played really well, but he's got to get better. It's hard to probably evaluate unless you watch film, like consume film like I do. Spencer Brown. I mean, he's got to rise, right? He's got to get incrementally better.
Yes.
And he knows where it is. So I think that's my player today. That's my numero uno.
Who was it again?
Spencer.
Oh yeah, Spencer Brown. I apologize. I was reading Andrew Talley's comment. So
well, we need to read that.
Yeah. So so for me, my first player is going to be Gabe Davis, and that's kind of a cherry pick, I think. What's interesting to me about the Gabe Davis conversation is I don't think that 2022 is necessarily a special year for Gabe Davis. Obviously, we know what he did in 2021. We know what he did in 2020.
Right.
And there's an expectation and an anticipation about 2022. But I think 2022, what he's about to do could have happened in 2021 had the Bills not gone and gotten Emmanuel Sanders. I think Gabe Davis last year was ready to kind of take that step. And I think we saw it at the end of the season. I don't think it was a situation of like, well, Emmanuel Sanders is hurt or covered or whatever, or just isn't doing it. I guess we'll put Gabriel Davis in. He was just being himself. I was at the Colts playoff game with Jay Spence the King when the dude was toe tapping all over the place up and down the sideline to basically help Josh Allen out of like impossible situations. The kid had talent in 20. The kid had talent in 2021. They just moved him below a legitimate future Hall of Famer in Emmanuel Sanders, which I think was a mistake. So I think we're going to see who Gabriel Davis really is in 2022. And I think we could have seen it last year, but I think this year.
Yeah. I mean, hindsight's 2020. You could exchange Davis for Sanders for last year, but I mean, I can't even think that deeply. I'm just an offensive lineman, man.
Stab.
Yeah, stab.
Punch.
Right. Fire the weapon. So the good news is he did have that extra year, right, to learn and even get better and better.
Yeah.
I agree with you, though. I can't wait to see what it translates to. And it could have been last year. I'm not going to argue with that. But it is the key between Diggs, McKenzie, Davis, and Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
The 4 of them. I mean, that's deadly.
I think what's interesting as well when you talk about, Stephon Diggs looks little on the field. He's not little. He's 6'1", so he's taller than me. And then you talk about Gabriel Davis, who's 6'2". Well, I don't know why you're laughing, because you're 6'5". So why do you got to be that guy? Like when you think of a little receiver, you're thinking of Isaiah McKenzie, who I have also stood next to. And Isaiah McKenzie is legitimately a muscle hamster. That dude in street clothes, you're like, you're an NFL player? Wow. Like,
yeah,
McKenzie's smaller than Tasker.
Yeah. Well, I'll say it a million times over. Anybody that plays in that league is a freak.
So where I was going with this is what the Bills have done in that wide receiver group between Diggs, Dawson Knox, obviously, Gabriel Davis, guys like Kumaro, guys like Hodgins, what they have, OJ Howard, if he makes this football team, just they've gone from being the Smurfs 3 years ago to being like legitimate, ginormous humans that are going to be almost impossible to cover, in my opinion. They're just going to be nightmares all over the field. And then you got McKenzie running around there like a maniac, like a muscle hamster. So who's your that's what Josh called him on this past
week. Love it. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's a true visual, like words trigger pictures. I say that all the time.
Exactly.
I was coaching a kid yesterday. I'd never played football before, and I kept trying to just like dial it down to small things that would just make, paint a big picture.
Yeah.
Muscle hamster does that.
Yeah, for sure.
So mine isn't a player, it's a position. And I know statistically, if you look at the running back position last year, that we weren't bad. We were actually quite good. But what I want to see is I think that back-breaking breakaway runs, we didn't really get a lot of those. I'd like to see, and whomever it is, right? Whether it's Singletary or I don't care. I just got to see a little bit more of those just demeaning, debilitating runs against the defense when they think things are going well. And it's because that one comes to mind from last year in Tennessee.
The Singletary run, right?
No. The Tennessee run.
Oh, you're talking about the Derrick Henry run.
Right.
They had two holding penalties on it that weren't called.
You can't rely on that, man. I mean, you just got to make the tackle, right? But I want to see us do that. That was a backbreaker. Like, that is a legitimate, like, oh my God. You start, like, the defense comes to the sideline and everybody looking at each other going, oh God. Like a hollowness. Just.
Yeah, for sure.
Bleh.
Yeah, for sure. So I agree with you. It's going to be interesting to me who comes out. So I think that the running backs, I think Duke Johnson doesn't have a place on this football team. I think Duke is probably going to be a cut. So that means it's going to be Devin, right? Zach Moss, who looks completely different this year. And it has come out in the offseason that he had screws in his foot from an injury that he had in 2020. So he played with that all last year, which clearly can affect the way you play. I'm sure you can probably speak to that. And then James Cook. And I am unbelievably excited about James Cook. And coming into the conversation, and we did a draft show and we talked about James Cook and body stature and, contact balance and all that kind of stuff, that he doesn't have, the thighs, as I said, that cross your eyes, is then the big thick thighs that Devin Singletary has, or Thurm had, or Sanders or Emmitt Smith has. But what's funny about it is Dalvin Cook, his brother, is an inch shorter than him, and they have a very similar body type. And Dalvin Cook is a number one running back. When you go back to the Texans, the Houston Texans, I'm sorry, the Tennessee Titans, rather. The wrong team. The Tennessee Titans. When you look at Chris Johnson, do you remember Chris Johnson when he played?
Oh, yeah.
He was tiny and fast. Yep. He was a legitimate starting running back in the NFL, number one for 4 years. And I think what Cook brings to the soup is coming from, and it's a program that just is a legendary program. Yeah. And I think that matters as a mindset too. And I think Singletary and Moss have to kind of grow into that, being an NFL player. But when you come from Georgia, right. I mean, it's, murder everybody, drink the blood kind of attitude. You know what I mean? I'm just really excited to see what he can bring, because you're talking about a player that was used sparingly. He had 14 carries in one game. He had more than 12, I think, in 4. And that's not a lot from a career in college football. So hungry. He's going to be hungry. He's flashed in camp already. He's flashed on the days that I've been there. It's just going to be exciting to see what he brings. So I agree with you. The running back group, I think, is going to become something this year. Do you think Josh Allen throws for less yards this year because of the emergence of the running back group, or do you think it's the same or more? No, I think he throws for less, but I think that's a benefit. If the running game is more deadly, is more dangerous, I think that's a good thing. That's fine. I mean, it's hard. It's going to be hard for him to match that season last year, just yardage wise. Right. So I'll take the under. What's the bet? Gotcha. I like it. Wait. I take the under. You taking the over. What's the bet? I think he's going to throw for more yards. He threw for 4,400, I believe, last year. I think he's going to. So is it just a pizza? Like, what's the bet? We have similar tumblers. Look at that. Yeah, mine's just taller. Oh, must because you're 6'5". Although in my hand it looks like it's in your hand, but you are a giant compared to Isaiah McKenzie. Must be because you're taller than me. Why you're like bigger. A squirrel hamster muscle. Don't get me coughing. You're throwing up. This is a show where I have to talk. Who was your last one? Gregory Rousseau, I think is. Oh, that's right. Excuse me. I don't. I there was a lot of players I could have gone here. there's a lot of cherry pickable players, and I felt like I cherry picked both Gabriel Davis and Greg Rousseau, but I think Greg Rousseau is going to begin to grow into himself. Obviously, when you look at who he was in high school, the years he didn't have in college, the 1 year he did have, took a year off, came in last year, what he did and was capable of doing last year, just even as a guy that's just like trying to figure it out, right? I mean, he's a kid, a child who's barely played the position, barely played football, and now is playing at the NFL level. I think there's a great deal of figuring it out that's going to happen for Greg this year, along with the complement of that defensive line, that revamped defensive line, and Von Miller in there. I just think that for Greg, this is a year where there's going to be sacks that he's just going to accidentally fall into, if that makes any sense.
Well, he needs to. I think the expectation is high, and I think you adding him to your list as people that need to step up is certain. I mean, that there's no reason he shouldn't be on that list.
Yeah.
In fact, he should be number one on your list.
Yeah.
And the only reason he wasn't number one on my list is because you claimed him first.
You're welcome. Must be.
No, I agree with you. He needs to have a great year, and I think that he's in a good situation because of the bigger bodies that we got up front, and because of the addition of Von Miller, that he'll be in a position to fall into some situations that, didn't exist or weren't created last season.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. So here's my question. So we have on our slate, on our script, if you will, that we are supposed to move on from here and go to the most difficult stretch quarter of the season, which is reminiscent of sorts because this show started as a quarters show. We did it after each quarter of the season. I am going to memories. Exactly. I'm going to, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to submit that we save that for next week. Next week we're going to have the opportunity to talk about an actual preseason game. But
does everybody in the chat agree that my idea for the show gets turfed because Joe Miller decides that it's not worthy for discussion right now? I thought we were pals, bro. I thought this was a collaborative effort.
It's getting turfed because we are long. He's leaving. So at least let me insult you before you leave. So it's getting turfed because we are long in the tooth, which you as a 6'5" human being should understand what long teeth means. So yeah, so that's a weird joke, but it is.
Damn, that's weird. I can't believe you said that.
So let's shut this thing down and let's talk about the preseason game next week. Next week we will actually bring back the format of the show. So what our expectations were. What was good, what was bad, what needs work, and then we will talk about the I think we might have enough time in the preseason to talk about the the stretches that are good, the stretches that are like kind of mediocre, and then like maybe the easy stretch. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, that's good. I'm only teasing. I'll just cry later when I'm off camera.
No, you won't. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, you have been tuned into the Off Tackle with John Fina show, brought to you by the Market Dominator on the Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast Network, presented by Picasso's Pizza. I have the read. Treat yourself to the most flavorful pizza on game day. Picasso's, we are Buffalo Pizza. Shipping local and nationwide. Order online at picassospizza.net. See, like that? Just like that, I can't get in trouble. It's just that simple. I can't get in trouble.
I was thinking about it, like sponsor-wise, we have the two best categories for sponsors, right? What does everybody need to feel like they have a home, right? A nest, a place where they belong, where they're comfortable. And then once they're comfortable, all they want to do is like just push, eat.
Get fat.
Push food down the throat, right? So we got the best damn barbecue sauce. We got the pizza. I mean, Picasso's Pizza.
Right. We got if you need a house, we got the mortgage broker.
That's what I'm saying. You get the house. How do you get the house? You get the mortgage broker. You get the real estate agent. I mean, between the Market Dominator, House Capital, Picasso's, and Q42, I dare anyone to say they have better sponsors than we do.
I agree. So my name is Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. That is John Fina. You can find him on Twitter at John Fina. John, any final words? Yeah, it's a great show tonight. Really, not really, but I'm having a great time already, man. I like everybody out there. I just can't wait for the season to start. I don't expect a lot from the preseason game. I do expect to see Josh Allen, but
maybe for a series. And I'm just super excited like everybody else, man. And it's great working with you, Joe.
Agreed. I can't wait for Friday night. So tomorrow night, Code of Conduct. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock on the Buffalo Rumblings YouTube channel is the Code of Conduct with Jay Spencer King. Wednesday night, Hump Day Hotline. Thursday night is the Buffalo Nerve with Colt Schroeder. Friday night, the Food for Thought with Bruce Nolan and Nate Geary. However, skip that show. Sorry, Bruce. Sorry, Nate. Come hang out with me and John and Drew from the Rock Power Report, Drew and Chris at O'Neill's.
Where?
Stadium
at O'Neill's.
Yes, across from the stadium, 6 o'clock on Friday, as we're going to be. You get to meet John. I promise you, I guarantee you, he's going to let you wear his AFC championship ring. Is it true? Am I lying? Or are you going to let him do that?
I better not forget it. Yeah, I'll let you wear it.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, for Buffalo Rumblings, for John Spashek, the Market Dominator, for House Capital, for Q42, for all of us at Buffalo Rumblings, and for John Fina, go Bills.
Go Bills, baby.